10 years on since the brutal rape and murder of Nirbhaya, and we are standing yet again in Delhi assessing the situation for safety of women, whether anything has even changed over the last 10 years. Today we are standing outside the housing society where Nirbhaya's parents, who fought a long battle over here, today they are holding a candlelight vigil. Supporters, people in solidarity have come out today, along with many other such parents who may have lost their loved ones to such heinous crimes like rape and murder. It is an unfortunate commentary today. We are standing here amidst people who have been not just victims of rape and murder, but are continuing to fight in the judiciary for their rights, for the person or the people who have committed these heinous crimes to be punished. Much was said after the Nirbhaya gang rape and murder. There was an outpouring of anger. People were out on the streets. In many years, it was really the first time that we saw people of all ages, women, young women, men as well, stepping out, demanding justice in the Nirbhaya case. Those visuals are really hard to forget when people came out in protest in India, on India Gate, thronging the Rajpath, asking for justice in the Nirbhaya case. There were several changes that took place, at least on paper. The Juvenile Justice Act was amended. In fact, there was a Nirbhaya law, a Nirbhaya Act, and also a Nirbhaya Fund. And just a week ago, there were reports from Mumbai of how the Nirbhaya Fund has in fact been misused over there. That fund, which should have provided security vehicles for women for patrolling in Mumbai, went for the security of MPs and MLAs, though, of course, the government there has denied these charges. Today, as these women stand here, once again, seeking justice for many other such cases that go unnoticed because those cases have taken place outside of Delhi. All those people standing here today demanding that justice be given in all such cases. In fact, Asha Devi, Nirbhaya's mother, is joining us here and we'll quickly have a word with her. Asha Devi ji, 10 साल हो गए हैं, क्या कोई चेंज आपको नजर आया इन 10 सालों में?
देखिए 10 साल पूरे हो गए, लेकिन अगर चेंज हुआ होता, हमारी महिलाएं सुरक्षित होती, सबको इंसाफ मिलता, सबका आराम से रिपोर्ट होता, हो गया सरकार, तो आज हम यहाँ रोड पे तख्ती लेके नहीं खड़े होते। तो ये एग्जाम्पल है कि अगर हम रोड पे तख्ती लेके खड़े हैं और उसमें लिखा है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला वापस हो और अनामिका को इंसाफ मिले, तो ये एग्जाम्पल है कि हमारे देश में महिलाएं सुरक्षित नहीं है, हमारे देश के महिलाओं को इंसाफ नहीं मिल रहा है। आज देख रहे हैं कि कई बच्चियों की माँ यहाँ पे हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं, ये हैं, इनकी बच्चियाँ इस दुनिया में नहीं है, लेकिन इस कोर्ट दर ये भटक रही हैं। मैं एक नॉर्मल इंसान हूँ, लेकिन निर्भया के लिए लड़ाई लड़ी, उसको मुजरिमों को 4 को फांसी मिला, हालांकि एक तो छूट गया, आज भी वो कहीं आज़ाद है, लेकिन इनको मुझसे उम्मीद है कि मैं इनको इंसाफ दिलाऊंगी। तो मैं सरकार से, सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आज निर्भया को 10 साल होने पे उनसे यही रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ, मांग करती हूँ कि हमारे देश के बच्चियों को इंसाफ दीजिए, अपनी व्यवस्था ठीक करिए। हम दिल्ली में हैं, हमारी दिल्ली में बच्चियां सुरक्षित नहीं है, दिल्ली में सब कुछ है, पुलिस है, सरकार है, कानून व्यवस्था है, लेकिन हमारी बच्चियां सुरक्षित नहीं है। तो हम यही कह सकते हैं कि आज भी हम 2012 में ही खड़े हैं। तो हमारा सरकार से, सुप्रीम कोर्ट से हमारा यही मांग है, इन माओं के तरफ से, जो बच्चियां इस दुनिया में नहीं हैं या जिन बच्चियों के साथ क्राइम हो रहा है, अभी 2 दिन पहले बच्ची पे एसिड डाला गया है, एक बच्ची को टुकड़े में बांट दिया गया, तो उन सब बच्चियों को इंसाफ मिले। हमारी कानून व्यवस्था ठीक है, ठीक हो। सरकार इस मुद्दे को, जिस तरह से हर मुद्दे को पार्लियामेंट में, संसद में उठाया जाता है, इस मुद्दे को, महिला सुरक्षा सिक्योरिटी मुद्दे को पार्लियामेंट में रखे और इस पे कानून है तो उसको लागू करे, नहीं है तो सख्त कानून बनाए।
कानून तो सख्त बनाए गए थे, लेकिन आपको 1 मिनट यहीं रोकूंगी। आप लोगों से मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ, जो कानून बनाए गए थे, जो चेंजेस आए थे, क्या इसके बारे में लोगों को क्या पता भी है? निर्भया फंड जिसका इस्तेमाल अभी हमने सुना कि मुंबई में मिसयूज हुआ है, जुवेनाइल जस्टिस एक्ट में अमेंडमेंट हुआ था, उसके बाद हमने देखा था एक निर्भया एक्ट भी आया था। लोगों को क्या पता भी है इसके बारे में?
नहीं, कुछ ही को लोगों को नहीं पता इसके बारे में। अभी सिर्फ और सिर्फ गिने चुने 2-4 लोग लॉयर्स हैं, उनके पता है, बाकी पूरी पब्लिक को किसी को नहीं पता। और उसी तरीके से इसीलिए प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही हैं कि आज हर रोज़ ये प्रॉब्लम्स हो रही हैं। अभी आप यहाँ द्वारका में देख लीजिएगा, पूरे रास्ते यहाँ पर सुनसान हैं। अभी मैंने कई बच्चियों को बचाया है मैंने अपनी उससे, क्योंकि क्या होता था कि जैसे ही वो मेट्रो स्टेशन से उतरते थे तो उनके पास बेचारे का पैसा नहीं होता है, रिक्शे वाले नहीं जाते थे रात को, तो बच्ची पैदल जाती थी तो गाड़ी आके खड़ी होती थी और गाड़ी में कुछ गुंडे होते थे उसके अंदर। मैंने खुद गाड़ी यू टर्न मार के खुद मैंने उनको बच्ची को बचाया, बेटी को उसको घर पहुंचाया, उसको
So basically what you are saying is that after what happened with Nirbhaya, there was a lot of talk about how the city should be made safe for women to travel in evening, at night, when they are coming back from work and school. However, all those changes have not taken place.
Notice change.
What would you want to say about it?
बिल्कुल कोई चेंज
Ma'am,
नहीं।
we are scared of coming out of homes after 9 o'clock.
सेम प्रॉब्लम
The same problem, even not same, we will say the problem is much more now. We are scared to come out of home. Even I am a lady, I am 40 plus, but I am scared to come out of home after 9 o'clock. If my husband is not there, I cannot, I don't even think to go somewhere after 9 because I want somebody.
So in the 10 years, you are saying not much change has taken place, and the struggles of people who have been victims is even worse. Is that what you're saying?
Situation is getting worse day by day. Because every day we read newspaper, we see newses of, they are chopping the girls and doing, in the briefcase we are getting the girl's body. So we are really scared of sending our daughters anywhere.
All right. Also, many of you made a reference to that acid attack. Asha Devi also made that reference to the acid attack that has taken place just a few days ago on a young 17-year-old girl in broad daylight at 7:30 in the morning. My colleague Priyanshi is now joining us live from outside Saket Mall. Priyanshi, I want to come to you on this count. Today, a lot of people here standing in solidarity with Nirbhaya's parents are saying that not much has changed over the last 10 years. Will you be able to speak to some of the women there, young women who are out there, as to whether they believe things have changed? Because this was the route that Nirbhaya had taken that day, 10 years ago.
Maha, we're coming to you from the Select City Walk Mall in Saket. This is where the couple had come that night 10 years ago to watch a movie, to watch Life of Pi. They had come out for a normal outing. But then this horrific case happened after they left from this mall. They went to the Munirka bus stand, they took a bus from there, and that is where this unfortunate night turned to an absolute horror for Nirbhaya, and that entire case unfolded that shook the entire nation, that gruesome rape and murder case that happened. This is where the couple had come out to watch an innocent movie that night. Now we're joined by some young women as well who have come to this mall, and it was around this time that the couple was also at this mall that night at around 9:15 p.m. is when they left this mall. Now these women have also come to this mall in the evening when it's dark, and let's just try and understand if they think anything has changed in the last 10 years. Do they feel safer? Thanks for joining us. It's been 10 years of the Nirbhaya case. So many rules were made, so many commitments were made. Do you think anything has changed? When you step out and it's dark, you come to a mall like this, do you feel safer compared to what you did years ago, or compared to what your mothers or sisters would feel?
Not at all. I don't feel safe. Like I'm living like around 2 hours like far away from my family, and if I step out at dark I step out at night, like every time there is a thing like, oh, what's gonna happen next if I'm walking around there on the street, so someone will come and just say something bad to me, or I don't know what would happen. Yes,
Somebody might eve tease you or say something.
or something, like I don't know. Yes, so I feel like scary while actually I feel safe when I'm with my family or father. I want to feel safe like that in like every time. I want to save like that. Yeah.
Is it the same for you? Do you all also always feel scared that you never know what can happen when you step out in the dark?
I'm not from Delhi, but I heard that Delhi is not safe. You shouldn't go there. But I took my chance and I came here, and all those rumors are true. Like I've been in Delhi since last 3 months, and eve teasing and people stalking me. Everything is so normal here. Everyone is like, yeah, it happens. You shouldn't just leave your house after 6 o'clock. And that's like disgusting because in Mumbai at 2 my parents were at peace, and here in 6 they are like, go back home, shut the doors, don't talk to anyone. It's just horrible.
So compared to the kind of life you were living in Bombay, here you're really restricted.
Yeah, I don't usually step out after 6.
Okay. What about you? What do you think? Has anything changed? All of those laws were made, the fast track courts were made, and with the intention that the molesters will now be scared, the rapists, the potential rapists will now be scared. Do you think that has happened?
I don't think so. To be honest, the general crowd of Delhi has not made up their mind, and they're not ready for the change yet. They are always willing to put everything on government's head and what the corporates are doing. Definitely corporates are now more responsible, and they provide cabs and private conveyance providence to their employees. But to be honest, I don't see that government is really playing their major role that we were promised, be it any party or any face that we see around from whether they are from the constitution or whoever, but we don't see the execution of the plan. That is that.
So the women here saying that they still feel scared when they step out. They never know what can happen, and they think that all of those laws that were made lack implementation, and the situation unfortunately still remains the same even after 10 years of that horrific rape and murder case.
So very unfortunate, Priyanshi. Many thanks for getting us all those voices. Let me quickly introduce our two guests, Brinda Dige, a women's rights activist, and senior lawyer Karna Nandi, both joining us on the show. But before I go to them, I want to speak to another set of parents whose ordeal has not ended. They are still fighting a very tough battle. These are the parents of the Chawla rape victim. आपकी लड़ाई अभी जारी है, बहुत ही मुश्किल लड़ाई है. जो कॉन्विक्ट्स थे उनको छोड़ दिया गया है. इस वक्त आप कोर्ट से क्या गुहार लगा रही हैं?
हम कोर्ट से यही चाहते हैं कि हमें इंसाफ चाहिए, क्योंकि जो पुराने जज साहब ने फैसला किया वो बहुत मतलब समाज के लिए बहुत बेकार है. हमारे लिए तो क्या है, पूरे हिंदुस्तान के मुंह पे तमाचा है वो. तो ये हम यही चाहते हैं कि हमें इंसाफ मिले, मेरे लड़के को न्याय मिले. नए जज साहब जी पे हमें बहुत भरोसा है, पूरा विश्वास है कि अब न्यायपालिका पे, अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे, क्यों हमें इंसाफ देंगे. अब मेरी बिटिया को न्याय मिलेगा, क्योंकि ये तो हमारे लिए नहीं है. अब जैसे 3 मुजरिम आ गए बाहर, तो मतलब दिन भर कांड होते जा रहे. कभी एसिड डाल रहे, कभी बच्चियों को उठा के ले जा रहे. ऐसे में तो हर कोई मतलब क्राइम करता रहेगा, क्योंकि अब मुजरिम छूट के आ जाएंगे सुप्रीम कोर्ट से, तो हर किसी की हिम्मत बढ़ जाएगी. यार उनका हुआ तो 10 साल में हम भी छूट के आ जाएंगे. तो इसमें ये हमारे समाज के लिए बहुत बेकार है, मतलब बहुत.
और रिपोर्ट्स ऐसी भी आई थी सर कि जब से वो कॉन्विक्ट्स छूटे हैं तब से आप लोगों को अपनी ज़िंदगी के लिए भी डर है, भय है. किस तरह का भय इस वक्त आप महसूस करते हैं? थोड़ा हमारे व्यूअर्स को बताएं.
देखिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो मुलजिमों को बरी करा है, लोअर कोर्ट से फांसी का ऑर्डर, हाई कोर्ट से फांसी का ऑर्डर, और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जहाँ पे उनका खात्मा होना था वहाँ पे उनको बरी कर दिया गया बायजित. तो उससे जो है हमारे को दहशत है, डर है, क्योंकि 3 मुलजिमों को बरी कर दिया जाता है जिनको फांसी का ऑर्डर हो चुका है, और वो भी इतने बड़े सीनियर सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो है कि उनको बरी करता है. तो इसमें तो मुलजिमों के हौसले बुलंद हो जाएंगे और क्राइम बढ़ेंगे. और रही बात डर की, तो डर तो लोअर कोर्ट से ही हमें डर रहता था, क्योंकि लोअर कोर्ट में भी वो धमकी देते थे. जब वो पेशी पे आते थे कहते थे बाहर निकलेंगे तो हम मारेंगे, काटेंगे. और आज वो बरी हो गए, तो आज तो मतलब जो है डर क्या मतलब है, मेरे को तो मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा डर रहता है. अपनी फैमिली के, अपने घर का, तो जो है कि ये मेरे लिए भी डर है और पूरे देश के लिए भी डर है। पूरे देश की बच्चियों के लिए डर है और हो ही रहा है। हाल ही में कल की बात है, बच्ची के ऊपर जो है कि स्कूल जा रही है, ये बच्ची है, उसके ऊपर एसिड डाली जाती है। तो ये एक क्राइम बढ़ तो रहे हैं। अगर मुलजिमों को इस तरह बरी कर दिया जाए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जो फांसी के हकदार हैं जो मुलजिम, और उनको बरी कर दिया गया है, तो उनके हौसले बुलंद होगा और क्राइम बढ़ेंगे, मुलजिम बढ़ेंगे, क्राइम बढ़ेंगे। मैं ये चाहता हूँ कि न्यायालय से कि इस तरह के घटनाओं में विशेष करके ध्यान दिया जाए और जो क्रिमिनल हैं उन पे पूरा से जो है कि उनको फांसी कर दिया जाए।
आप कह रहे हैं कि आपकी गुहार है सुप्रीम कोर्ट से कि इसमें आपको न्याय मिले। लेट मी गो अक्रॉस टू करुणा नंदी। करुणा नंदी, प्लीज हेल्प अस अंडरस्टैंड what exactly are these parents who are standing right behind me to do? They are saying they themselves feel threatened. We have witness protection, but these people are the victims' parents. They feel threatened. The convicts are out. The court said that the trial was not properly conducted. It's such a complex situation, Karna Nandi. What is the solution?
That this resurgence of patriarchy, and that's come back with double force, that's something not only must there be a mass remembrance that this is happening every day. The big cases are the ones that are the names you have taken, but there are every hour you have rapes happening and violence happening against women, and the patriarchy enabling it and not bringing justice, bad investigations being perpetuated, like in the Chawla murder case. What did the Supreme Court say? That the investigation was terrible, you know? They didn't say that they were innocent. This is very important to remember. They didn't say that the accused were innocent. They said that the investigation was a disaster and that you can't convict someone when you haven't proven the case, right? So in such a circumstance, who is it that is the first culprit here? The first culprit are the state and central governments. And it's a very serious problem. The reason that they are the first culprits is that they must realize that the reason they exist at all is to keep people free, to not allow the might is right to just perpetuate itself across women's spirits and bodies. And there are laws, there are, are they accountable to the voters to make those laws a reality?
Yes.
Have they done anything? There's a lot that has been said for decades about mindset change. What is being done? Why are there no blueprints? Why are there no blueprints to hack away at the patriarchy? And why are they listening to these men's rights associations that say that, domestic violence is a complete farce, and thereby the masses of women who are being killed within the home, that they are not getting, or almost being killed, right? That they are not getting justice because there's this nonsense perpetuation of this illusion that governments are buying by these small groups of men. Rights
and Karuna Nandi, I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but clearly social change also takes place when laws are enforced, and that social change is thrust upon people. At times you have to do that. Brinda Lige, why are we unable to bring about this social change? Today we were speaking to Asha Devi, and I'm sure you heard it. She says today the parents of other victims are looking up to her. She herself has fought such a long fight, but today parents they are looking up to her to be able to get justice in their cases. What kind of a situation are we talking about here, Brinda Dige? It's so unfortunate.
We are continuously talking about a situation that we want to change. But how can any of these systems, how can any of these structures change if there is no reform? What we are talking about is police reform, judicial reforms, and these are not happening. They harp on the same thing decade after decade. Decade after decade. They talk about no vacancy, they talk about vacancies, there's no staff, there's no trained people, and a colonial mindset. Just the colonial mindset continues to be that we are doing charity to you women. We do. Priority is not women or children's safety. Look at the way the leaders speak. See the way they talk. The reiterating patriarchy, misogyny, sexism. Look at everything that continues to happen where this patriarchal mindset dictates what women will wear, who women will love, who women will marry. And the judges, sorry to say, are unwilling to dynamically utilize even the available laws. Tedious, cumbersome procedures and processes in court. Everybody cannot access the court. And if at all we do, you mentioned about victim and witness protection. We're talking about compensation. If you look at the statistics, it's less than 30% of compensation that is extended to victims. And that too, after they go round and round in circles. It's not given to them as an entitlement. More like you beg for it and we will give you. So there is no feeling of safety, like one of the girls pointed out. That feeling of safety is not there. Look at what has happened with all the CCTV cameras bought with the Nirbhaya fund. Some places, the cameras are not most places, cameras are not monitored. So nobody knows where anybody is having any kind of a problem or an issue. And in another, in some of the other situations, all of the vehicles that have been bought.
Brinda DK, you mentioned compensation, also conviction rate. It is abysmally low. Even though
3%.
The claim is that it has gone up, but Karuna Nandi, it has reached about 30%, I believe.
No, it's at about 25%. And while, and this is heartening, we must remember that in France, the last time I looked at the figures, the conviction rate was about 7%, and in England it was about 3%. Of course, reporting would be a lot higher there, because there's more faith in the justice system and swift and certain justice. But our conviction rate is much higher because, and let us remember this, after the Tukaram case, after the Mathura rape case, there were various protests, right? The women's movement has taken the law forward in multiple ways, including the aspect of believing women like any other witness. Giving a woman victim's testimony the same status as any other witness. What does this mean? That if it stands up to cross-examination, if there's no ulterior motive, if there is no contradictory evidence, if it withstands judge's scrutiny, then it is sufficient by itself to convict the rapist. Right? In my experience, only women who have enough support on their own, or who have a really sort of single-minded mindset that they must get justice for themselves and others, they are the ones who want to go through the justice system. And the grueling nature, and you know, it's a pain, and it's long, it takes time, it makes you feel like a victim, you know. But it is these
and
women,
Karuna Nandi, unfortunately, the whole talk about, ma'am, the whole talk about fast tracking of these cases, witness protection, compensation, conviction rate, all those points that both you and Brinda Dige have raised are so very crucial. We are talking about this today after 10 years of what happened on the 16th of December in 2012. When Nirbhaya was gang raped in a moving bus in Delhi and then left on the road to die. That kind of a horrifying incident, it took that for this country to be jolted out of its slumber. But 10 years down the line, very little seems to have changed. I want to thank both my guests. We are completely running out of time. Karuna Nandi and Brinda Dige, many thanks for joining us. We are leaving you with these pictures from this spot here where a candlelight vigil is underway 10 years after Nirbhaya. Her parents standing here, shoulder to shoulder, with parents of other victims, saying that they will fight for the others as well. We're taking a very quick break now. News and updates will continue. Stay with us.